As we saw how Angular application works, well, we can immediately start working on it. Usually when I start my code, I like to have everything set up already. This means that we will now install Bootstrap framework and also Font Awesome library. We will install Bootstrap to handle our stylization, so we don't bother much with it. And also we will install Font Awesome library for simple icons, well, to represent our data a bit better. To install Bootstrap and Font Awesome, we will need to go into our terminal and use npm tool once again. npm stands for Node Package Manager, and with it we can install many different modules and their versions. Well, those modules are third-party packages. So here in my terminal right now, I will use command of npm install --save to be sure that these modules, these third-party packages are properly saved in my application, and then I will pass the names for my modules like Bootstrap and also Font-Awesome. Hit enter now. This command will install these two modules for us and save them into our project. To double check now if those were properly installed, we can go into package.json file. In this file, you should have the imports for Bootstrap with its own version, which is version 5, and Font Awesome as well. So even if we installed these modules, our application is still not using those. To use these modules, we will need to open this angular.json file, and I already mentioned that we will come back to this file. We use this angular.json to pass specific settings for our Angular application. So here we will specify these modules that we just installed. For example, down here I have an array for styles and array for scripts. So here I could import the CSS and JavaScript files from my modules. First of all, let's import Bootstrap. To do that, before my main styles.css file, I will use double quotes here to pass the import here. As Bootstrap is installed through npm, we know by that the module itself will be inside of this node modules folder. So to import it, I can simply use node modules /bootstrap/dist for distribution /css and then /bootstrap.min.css. This way we are importing Bootstrap CSS file, well, its minified version. Next to Bootstrap, we can also import the CSS for our Font Awesome. So once again down below, I will use double quotes, and inside now I will pass node modules /Font Awesome /CSS /Font Awesome.min.css. And the one last thing, well, Bootstrap also next to CSS file has its own JavaScript file that we should import. JavaScript file won't be passed into this styles array, but into this scripts array. So here I will import now node modules /bootstrap /dist /js for JavaScript and /bootstrap.min.js. Also, usually Bootstrap will use a jQuery, well, with it. But as we are using the Bootstrap 5 version, well, in Bootstrap 5, jQuery doesn't need to be used. We can simply use just CSS and JavaScript files from Bootstrap. Now, to test if we imported and installed these packages properly, I will open my source folder, then app folder, and again open my app.component.html file. I already have this h1 element, so just below I will create the I element for icon, and here I will use a class of Font Awesome and then Font Awesome Facebook. So we should see this hello world nicely styled by Bootstrap and also the Facebook icon from Font Awesome. One last thing before we do that, make sure to run ng-serve to run your project where your application on localhost 4200. So now in my localhost, if I zoom in a bit, you will see this hello world a bit styled. Well, that is because of the Bootstrap and also Facebook icon from Font Awesome, which means that both packages were properly installed. As you see now, we started really slowly here, as I truly wish you to understand, well, what we are doing here. So in the next video we will use few features from Angular like module and components. You will see how can you create your own specific module, also create a shared module for your Angular application, and next to that generate components with Angular CLI that we will use. Those components will also be shared components, so we will be able to use it through different pages, well, our routes in application, and we will use those to lay out our application. So let's start working on that.